Hello, everybody. Okay, so it looks like this is Transformational Entrepreneur TV, but it isn't. What it is actually, it's I've got this is going to be Melodian Whitley doing this. I don't know if I've said your name right because it looks to me like it's Whiteley, but you spell it. You say Whitley, don't you?
It's Whiteley.
It is Whiteley. Wow. All these years I've been thinking your name's wrong. That's crazy. Well, this has just been kind of typical of today. There's been quite a few things. We've had some learning curves with technical stuff. We were going to come on Zoom, and this is going to be all Melodian's ball game, but that didn't work. So I quickly hopped on and got Be Live, and we're live here. So Melodian, have a look on Facebook and you should see the link, and just go share that to your people so that we can get some of your people on. I can see we've got a couple of people showing up already, but I want to get your audience involved as well. So just do a share so that your people can see it as well. So this is going to be really good. We're going to be talking about what a transformational entrepreneur is. So I get to be interviewed for a change because I'm always the one who is doing the interviewing. So I'm just having a quick look here to see. Ilona, I see that you've liked and you're on the page. So that's great. Thank you. Let's just see how this is coming through. So we're going to get a bit of echo now.
This is Transformational Entrepreneur.
Okay, that's coming through. Good. That is all coming through. So I'm just going to knock that out. I can see that Jean's on as well. So thank you, Jean. And who else is watching? So that's awesome. So, Melodian, have you managed to share that yet?
I have.
You have? Great. Are you ready to take over so that you can do the host? You can be the host, and I can just be the relax and take it easy and just be the the guest.
Due to technical difficulties beyond our control, it's a little crazy, but yes, we are all set.
Great, awesome. So apologies everybody that this is like over 30 minutes late, but that's just the way it is. And I think it's an important part of everything. And being a transformational entrepreneur, this is what it's about. It's about just kind of resting back and just not getting het up about it, and just you could just turn normally you could say, oh, this is an absolute disaster, this is the worst thing ever, and oh my goodness, what are people going to think about us? Well, something, the people that are going to be attracted to us are people who are who are understanding, who are going to understand that life is not perfect. I mean, you see it time and time again, even on NBC and CBS and things like this. They have technical difficulties. It happens. Doesn't matter. The important thing is that we're here and we're live and it's working, which is fantastic. Okay, so go on. I'm not going to be the host anymore. So this is your ball game. So over to you, Melodian.
Anybody that knows me knows that technical difficulties just trailed my wake. So we adapt and move on. So we're ready. All set, go. Talk about transformational entrepreneurship, because I've heard you've been talking about that for a while, but I really, to be honest, don't know what that is. And I'm sure a lot of my people don't. So what exactly is transformational entrepreneurship?
Okay, so a transformational entrepreneur, I mean, this is my definition, and maybe there are other definitions, but for me, what it's all about is it's from something that I learned when I was in Brazil. I had an English language school, which I built from nothing. I rented a table in a shopping center, and it cost me 1 cappuccino per hour because I was holding my conversation classes in front of a coffee shop there. So I paid him 1 cappuccino per hour. And, that built into a big school eventually. And, I had like, I think 287 students at its peak, which was awesome. And what I realized was, I thought all the time, yes, it is about hard work. Yes, it is about having the technology to do it. But the biggest, most important thing is your mindset. And that is what transformational entrepreneur is. As you transform yourself inwardly in your mind and so on, then this has an exterior component. And so I think that most entrepreneurs, and business people get too into the focusing on, just doing on the widgets and on all of the nitty-gritty physical stuff, but there's more to it. Another component of that as well is, sometimes it can be a spiritual journey. There are times when you are on your knees praying, for sure, and it builds your faith that way. For me personally, it also means law of attraction and a whole bunch more. So I could go on forever about this, but in a nutshell, that's kind of what it is. Is that any clearer, or is it still mystified?
It's clear. When you talk about changing mindset, how do you actually do that? How can people actually change their mindset? I mean, you don't get up the next day and decide, well, I'm gonna think differently today.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you could wake up in the morning and you could decide, yeah, I'm going to wake up differently in the morning. Hey, Donna, how are you doing? Thanks for being on the call. Actually, we've got a few. Let's give a couple of shout outs while we're going with this. This is the beauty of being on Be Live. I see that Skylar's on. I don't know if this is a guy that is one of your folks, Melodian, and Time is on as well, which is awesome. So, when you're give me the question again, Melodian. Sorry, I got directly kind of track there. How do
you actually go about changing your mindset?
You take a sip of water. You take a sip of water. No, changing water can be just a case of you just decide you're going to do it. Changing your mindset is just at that point where it kind of happens. I mean, it's not. Sometimes there is a conscious decision to make it happen. Sometimes it just happens. I know this is a bit wishy-washy, and you're probably wanting a proper answer to it, but you need to go through a process. I mean, it's this changing your mindset is a big topic. I mean, an example would be just a great way to change your mindset and to know where you're at is to just ask questions. And so to say, well, why am I doing this? And what is going on here? And what do I prefer to do? And just going through a process. And this is going to change your mindset. And mindset is really a change of not doing something that is not useful to you and going into a direction that is. Because remember, mindset can be anything. It can be a negative mindset. It can be positive. It can be all sorts of stuff. It can be sad. You can have a depressed mindset, all sorts. Big topic again. Always remember your why, Donna. That's right. Yes.
Yes, and Donna's image has got me thinking. I've known you for a few years now, and you seem more excited about this than I've seen you in a long time. It seems like you really you found your message, you found your passion. I have a lot of people that join network marketing because that's where I'm at, and they come in and their only purpose is they want to make money. And let's be real, that's not a strong enough reason when when the time's tough. I just want to make money isn't enough to keep you going when you're not making any money. So how do you go about actually finding your passion, your purpose? What did you do to suddenly decide this was it? And how can everybody else do the same thing?
Well, finding your passion this is a great question, and this is the $1 million question. Finding your passion is something that I think it's an evolution. It's like, I think, you know, you're gonna get kind of the overall passion of what you do, and then it gets refined, and sometimes that can go into different directions as well. For me, you know, my passion is to help people, and that's what it's been all the time. So I've got different directions of doing it. So when I was younger, that manifested as helping people by, you know, I thought I knew a lot about relationships because I had been in many relationships or tried to be. And so if somebody was, most people have problems with relationships. And so, you know, I'd be talking till 2, 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to give comfort to people. And really, I didn't have the tools. I thought I did, but I didn't have the tools to help people. Really, I was just giving them reassurance. Then that went into, my mother had a restaurant, and so I took care of people. I helped people by giving them nutritious food, making it a fun experience. Then in the English language school, this was about, I realized that my motto was good English, good life, because I realized for Brazilians that, you know, they needed to have really good English to do well, because the top companies expected it, and they were doing business with companies in Europe or with America. All of the manuals for medicine and dentistry and so on were in English, so they needed it for that. So then, you know, I go in a further stage of now being a coach, hopefully a mentor, and to be a speaker, author, presenter. And now my impact through the knowledge that I've got from people like Tony Robbins and T. Harv Eker and Bob Proctor, Jack Canfield, blah, 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 that has condensed into my ability to help more. My latest project of Transformational Entrepreneur is really bringing together everything that I've had since in the days that I was in my mother's restaurant and doing everything there was to do there, to then, you know, being in corporate as a computer repair engineer, to then owning my own company and being a solopreneur as I am now. So, you know, it's just putting all of that knowledge together and being able to help a whole bunch of people. And it just kind of develops. And that's not what people want to hear, I know, but it's just like, I think you're not going to wake up in the morning and just like go, oh, I found my passion. It's probably not going to happen. It's just going to be a gradual development of getting you. It's just something's going to click one day and it's just going to make sense. Like you're a coach or something, and suddenly you realize, like a friend of mine realized her passion's music. And I'm so happy. I've got goosebumps talking about it. I don't know if the camera can show this, but I got goosebumps because I know it's so right. She's now doing therapy using music, and she's going to integrate the two. It's so perfect, so beautiful. For other people, it might be art and coaching. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but what if we're having a hard time finding our purpose? What if we're just getting up every day and going through the motions because we don't know what else to do?
Well, sometimes there's got to be a part of that, and sometimes, and that's, I think this is what people forget. It's like there's a point where, as you're building whatever your business is, there's times when you're going to have to do something nitty gritty. So you need to get a part-time job or whatever. A lot of other people talk about this. I've been listening to Dale Cardone, and he's talking about this. And for like a couple of years, he had to knuckle down and do a job that he hated. But he decided, you know something, I need to do this job. I need the money to come in, and I'm going to be the best at this. I don't care if I hate it. I am going to be the absolute best at what I do. And so he went and did that. And sometimes I think there is a point where, as an entrepreneur, you know, and this is kind of going against what I believe is in Transformational Entrepreneur, but I think there is a point where you have to do stuff that's disagreeable. And, you know, there's many times when it's disagreeable. Like for me to come on and be live and doing an interview, used to be very disagreeable. Now I'm just talking to you as a friend, and I'm imagining that the people out there that are listening are just friends, and so that's it. And I don't know. I mean, when this goes on YouTube, and when this goes on to in a podcast, there could be, you know, thousands of people literally watching this at some point. But I don't think about that. And so it's all about getting out of your comfort zone and just going for it. But knowing what your passion is, knowing what you love doing, and it literally is a case of what is it that you love doing, and you know, the time just passes so quickly as you're doing it. I mean, my girlfriend can't believe it, but there's times when at 12:30 or 1:30 at night I'm doing something for my business, and she's like going, "Why are you sleeping? Why are you doing this?" And this was a normal job. I'd probably be pretty miffed that I had to do it, but I'm not. I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to create maybe some kind of graphic that I'm going to put as a thumbnail on my YouTube, and I could be doing that in the middle of the night or whatever. And why do I do it? I just love what I'm doing. So it's finding that passion, but you know, realizing that there is a point where you've got to have some money to come in before you can jump into what you're doing. Have you got any more questions around that? Because it's probably not really answering exactly how you want it to be.
Well, I think what everybody wants to know really is how do they transform their business and their lives into one of purpose and passion?
Okay, great question. But I think that what most people want to do is that they're going after the money. I think most people are you know, their biggest thing is just chasing after the money, and they think that that's going to be what it's about, and it isn't. You know, and if you're following your passion, maybe you're not going to be making as much money as you could with other things. Well, definitely at the beginning. And that's a whole new story. I mean, this is the stuff that we're going on here. We're skimming over. These are really deep questions that you could go, you know, I could talk at much greater depth. I mean, each of your questions I could talk for 30 minutes on, literally, and, you know, give something quite powerful about, you know, because there's a lot of people who are following their passion, and then they get hung up on, and I know this is kind of going off the topic a bit, but I feel there's an underlying part of it that people are, you know, they're not allowing themselves to earn money from the passion, and that's a big mistake that they make. And then why I'm saying that is because then they could be drawn back into doing a job, because they just like go, oh, well, all this art stuff, you know, it's just a dream. It's like what my parents were right. It's like, you know, if you want to make money, you can't be an artist. You know, you need a proper job. You need to be doing something proper to make money.
We just need to have a whole other call about this then, I think.
I think so.
All right, well, let's add something else, okay? So you and I both agree that a strong why is absolutely critical. Why is that so important?
Yeah, it definitely, you know, your why is your driving force. And your why is going to be different for every person. Most people's why is, why do you have a job? I have a job because I'm here to pay taxes, to pay for my rent or mortgage, and to pay bills, and to take care of my children, and, you know, to take care of my wife, as in monetarily. And this is not really very stimulating to do this. So, you know, we need a better why. It's like, you know, to say, okay, well, I'm joyful that I have been given this opportunity to have this job, because I am now able to nurture and take care of my household, my family, my beloved wife, my beloved children. And, you know, I'm privileged to do this. It would be a better why, just making this shift. And this is interesting because I've seen Tony Robbins live in front of me doing this. And it's just a change of words. But this change of perception, this shift, changes your mindset then. It shifts something inside of you. And then it just totally changes the way that you think about things, which is awesome.
You know, when I first met you, I was kind of just going through the motions myself. I was just kind of doing it. I wasn't really passionate about what I was doing. It paid my bills, and that was pretty much it. And when I started putting into action all of the things that you and I talked about, and all the things I learned from your coaching groups and your videos, it just seemed like everything just started lining up in place for me. Like God was kind of laying out all the pieces and said, "Here you go." You find that's true for others? Or is it just me?
No, definitely. I think a lot of people are doing stuff mechanically and just going ahead and just existing. And this is really unfortunate. And that's where you got to find out where your passion is. And your passion could be, you can find passion inside of your job and unleash that. But that's different to what your true passion is. So you can have passion about doing your job, but that's different to what your true passion and what you're put on this planet to do with it. This planet to do, as it were. Excuse me a minute. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I really understand your question. Has that answered it, or did you?
Yeah, but you got talking about your passion again, and I've been training people in some capacity for probably 30 years now, and I know why I do it, because I remember I came from, and I want to help others that are in the similar circumstances. I want to help them the best that they can. I have never seen you so animated about anything since I've known you as you are about this. Why are you so passionate about this?
Well, like I said, it's because it's just it just makes sense. Well, a couple of things. One is because it's integrating, it's joining together everything that I've been, that everything that I've existed, everything that I've been through. Like I said, it was taking on, the experience that I had when I was a child, and and a teenager in my mother's restaurant, and then as working for corporate for a big computer company, and then as a business owner in Brazil, not knowing what I was doing, but building this company from nothing, and now being over in America and being a solopreneur. So yeah, it's just that's what fires me up, just the fact that I can bring all these things together. And also I think there's a shift. There's a lot of people who are doing things as a transformational entrepreneur, but they're not realizing it. They're not recognized for it. I think there's a lot of things where people are doing stuff out of greed, and they're following what I call the money god, and they're chasing after the money god, and that's not what it's all about. And so what I wanted is to start a movement, and this movement to go worldwide for every single country, and all of the solopreneurs, all of the business people, all of the small business people, and this to go into large businesses and corporations. Everybody's doing it to some extent, but I want to give real credence to it, so that people are recognizing their inner development being important for their outer world, for business, for the way that we get on with people, the way that we do business, the way that we treat each other, and just doing things on a more ethical basis. That's just really fired me up.
When I was getting ready to talk to you, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to talk to you about, I went back and looked at some of our conversation on Messenger, and I went back and looked at our Facebook stuff. And I remembered that some time ago I had posted on Facebook something about gratitude, and you commented on it. And I don't remember exactly what you said, but I do remember that time it struck me. I went back and I looked for it, but I couldn't find it. But I do remember that it scored with me. Do you believe in gratitude? Do you believe it's important to build your business?
Gratitude is something which is just so powerful, just so incredible. If people understood the power of gratitude, they would be doing it more and more. Their lives would be changing. Their whole world, their business, their circumstances, everything. You know, there seems to be, we're in a push button age now, and we have a challenge because basically we expect to push a button and instant gratification. Instantly we get whatever we're asking for. And that's not, you know, what it's all about. That's not doing us any good at all. And so there's a lot of talk about millennials and what millennials are doing and blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't really matter. And I've got friends who are millennials, and it seems that they're being picked on a lot, which is unfortunate. But I think really it's just indicating, when we're saying millennials, it's really indicating where life is right now, what is happening right now, and what all of us are being exposed to. So with gratitude, we should be grateful. I am so incredibly grateful that Facebook exists like this, and we can do this interview. And this is mind-blowing, to be honest. We are broadcasting this throughout the world. It has the possibility to be picked up by, what is it, like 6 billion people. That is the potential of this. No television station has this potential. It's impossible. And if we were to do this to build our own studio, the amount of money that it cost would be absolutely ridiculously high. Or to be able to just book 30 minutes or an hour of time on a TV station or radio station would be astronomical. We're doing this for free. This is mind-blowing. This is what gratitude's about, recognizing this. And it's like a secret law of the universe. The more grateful you are, truly, truly, humbly grateful, not going, I deserve this, this should happen, I'm the greatest, I should have this amazing computer, I should have this $1 million or whatever it is. This is all ego. And ego is really not going to do you very much good at all. And, you know, this is a key component of something called law of attraction. And that's one of the key steps to it. So gratitude is the greatest thing possible.
So I know what my people are going to want to know, because we're all network marketers, and that's what I do. I train network marketers to be better than they are. And they're going to want to know, what does this have to do with being successful network marketers? And what exactly is success anyway?
Okay, so what does that have to do with being a successful marketer? Well, if you're being grateful for everything that's coming along to you, you're going to get more of it, more good things. And so that's what, you know, if you're getting more good things, then more good things equates to being successful. And this is the whole point of it. It's like everybody's getting hung up on the fact that, you know, that we're supposed to be looking at the outside world for everything, and it isn't. We look on the inside. The inside is where the difference is going to be made. So if you're humble and you're grateful, then you're going to be more successful, because you're going to appreciate everything and everybody. You know, as a successful marketer, they're going to appreciate everything that you, Melodian, are doing for them, which is really important. So if they're appreciating you, then they're going to be looking inside of themselves, and they're going to be listening to you, everything that you say. So they're going to take more notice of what it is, and they're going to implement it. So there's lots of subtle ways that it's going to help. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Now answer the other big question. What exactly is success?
What if what?
what exactly is success? How do they know they're successful? Some of them aren't making a whole lot of money, but I still think because I know them personally, and I still think that they have achieved some level of success just because of things that they've done, even though they're not have a 6-figure marketing business, but I still think they're successful. They don't agree with me. So what's your definition of success?
Well, success is actually a very personal thing. And I think that, success is basically, they've got their own marks about what success is going to be. And you're right in what you're saying, but they've given success to mean something different. They've decided that they're only going to be successful if, they're at a certain level. And until they've got that level, it's of money, as it were, they're just not going to be happy. And I remember a story, I can't remember where it came from, probably Tony Robbins, because I've listened to so much of his stuff. I think he said that he was talking to a very successful managing director of a company, or CEO, or whatever, business owner, and he said, okay, well, how much did you make this year? He said 5 million. He said, great, wow, you're incredibly successful. He said, not really. He said, why not? He said, well, I don't feel comfortable unless I'm making 7 million a year. So he was deeply, deeply unhappy because he'd only made 5 million. So, for him, he's just got, for us, it's like 1 million would be, for most people, would be amazing. But for him, he'd set his success level as being 7, and 5 means he's not allowed to be unhappy. And I get it. I mean, we've got to have things which are pushing us in a direction which are going to make us to, to drive us. I get that. I understand why people do that. But then you're living an unhappy life all the time, and that's just not right. And this is where we need to have gratitude. Wow, gratitude that I've got this 5 million. I mean, what a great thing to be happy about. So what I'd say to your people who are, don't feel that they're successful is that I think really what you need is the determination to go to, not determination, the commitment that you're going to reach a certain level and that you're going to keep going. So as a network marketer, you need to say, okay, well, this is my goal. I'm going to be, making X amount of money. And the problem is that we kind of say, okay, it's got to be by this date, and this has got to be happening. And we compare ourselves with other people, and we get disillusioned when we don't achieve. And it's, we need to just say, okay, I'm going to be happy when, I'm just content with the fact that I'm on the path. And I know that I will get there eventually. And hopefully it's going to be sooner than I think it is, And again, I think most of the time it's all down to money. The fact that we're, short of money, finding it difficult is what is making us, putting extra pressure on us. And that's not a good thing. What do you think, Melodian?
Well, like I said, I think they're all incredibly successful because many of them have stepped up and done things that a year ago they would never have dreamed they were going to be able to do. So, yeah, they're not there yet, but if they keep on going the way they are, they may be making, they may be making 5 million one day. Who knows? I mean, those are the ones that I think are successful, that step up every day and doing things that, when I met a year ago, Facebook Lives, they wouldn't do them. One's getting ready to publish a book that she's been wanting to write for a while, and it's going to be published in January. She never thought she'd do that. I think that's incredible. There's all kinds of things that they're doing that they say, they're not there yet, but in my eyes they are. So, and yet they're all measuring it by money. They're measuring it by, well, I'm not at the level I want to be in my company, or I'm not making the income I want to make, but they don't look at how they've changed in their own lives and what that's going to do for them down the road. So How help them? What are your top tips for them to step up and transform into transformational entrepreneurs?
Okay, well, my top 3 tips would be, and you know, there's so many different tips that I could give here, but what I would say is I'm going to do this differently. I'm not going to give you the answer that you want, but I'm going to give you an amazing tool, because who I am, I'm looking behind your question. And I'm looking at this and saying, well, what does she mean by this question? What does she really want from it? I'm not just answering a question. I'm thinking, okay, what's the underlying, what is the why behind the question? Why are you asking the question? What are you wanting to achieve from it? So to me, it's like the 3 top tips. I believe that what you're asking this for is so that people can get the most out of their life. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Great. Okay, so I'll answer it differently. So the top 3 things are, it's not a tip, but the top 3 things for your life are, basically this is a magic formula, and this absolutely changed my life 100%. So it's all about doing a meditation or doing a walk every morning. You either do a 10-minute meditation or you go for a walk and you do, as much as you can, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour walking. And you split this into 3 sections. So if you were doing an hour, you do 20 minutes where you're doing gratitude, and you think about all the things that you can be grateful for. I've done this already. I did a Facebook post about this, and I think I posted it on YouTube as well. If anybody's interested in that, just put a message below whenever you're watching this, or in YouTube, when it hits there, just put a message below and I'll send you the link. So you do 20 minutes of gratitude, and that means looking at everything. Gratitude that you are alive, gratitude that you're healthy. If you're not healthy, then find something else to be grateful for. Be grateful that you've got good medical coverage, or you've got somebody taking care of you, or you're still alive, or whatever it is, or that you've had a great life, or wherever you're at. Be grateful for the fact that you've got clothing. Be grateful for the fact you've got somewhere to live. Be grateful for, as you're walking, there's this beautiful flower that you can see. The sun is shining, or if it's raining, be grateful for that, because it's going to make everything grow. All the time building something positive, putting positive in. So don't go into the negative. Don't start thinking, oh, it's raining and that means I'm getting wet and I'm getting muddy. Not about any of that. So if the more you do this feeling of gratitude, it will counteract everything. It will counteract depression. It will counteract not feeling good, feeling lonely, or whatever. And it generates this amazing positive energy, which the universe really likes this. And this is the building blocks for success. So the next 20 minutes, if you're doing an hour, for example, but if you're doing 15 minutes, then it's 5-5-5. And the next, you're doing your visualization. So just visualize the stuff that you really, really want. Maybe you want a big house. Maybe you want a different job. Maybe you want a relationship which is better. Maybe your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife are not the way that you want them to be, or reacting the way that you want them to. Visualize how you want them to be. Visualize your body. If you're fat and you want to be slim, then visualize it being muscular, and so on. Now, you might say all of this is baloney. If it is, why is it that the gold medal athletes are all visualizing this stuff? Why are they doing it? It's not because it's a waste of time. It must be something useful. It must be doing something that is amazing. So that's it. Visualize whatever you want. If you're not sure, do some brainstorming. Write down and just kind of write anything down. Just let it go. Keep your pen moving. Don't let it stop. The first thing you'll write is Lamborghini, Ferrari, mansion, all the rest of it. And as you're getting down the list, you'll start getting to the stuff that is really meaningful and really, really want to do. but put the big stuff as well, the Rolls Royce, whatever, and just keep going. And then decide, well, how do I want my life? What do I want? Do I want this beach house? Where do I want to live? What do I want to do? Etc., etc. After this, what do? Then you have the last section is your affirmations. Now, the affirmations is really good because we're all conditioned. We've all got, things that have been put into our minds that are making us react in a certain way. Things like money doesn't buy you happiness is one of them. All of these crazy sayings that have been put into our heads, and the things from our parents, from our schooling, from our childhood, of the ways that we're supposed to do things and the ways we're not supposed to, it counteracts all of this, and it's doing affirmations. What it's doing is if you're doing it properly, then you're basically doing a form of self-hypnotism, and you're going in at a really deep level and you're reprogramming your subconscious. So find some amazing affirmations. Simple stuff is, every day in every way I'm getting better and better. Every day in every way I'm getting slimmer and slimmer. Every day in every way I'm getting happier and happier. Every day in every way I'm getting more and more amazing, with lots of energy. And as you're saying it, put that energy into it. There are many, many affirmations out there, and just, have fun with them. Find ones which are good for you, and the things that you need to change, then just go for them. I recommend you do 3 to 5 maximum of affirmations, because we all have so many things that we want to change. I recommend just sticking to 3 to 5 if you must, and if you can, just stick to 1 and let that go in at a deep level. And try to do this every day if possible. If you've got some major shifts, do this every single day. And if you can't do that every day, do it 5 times a week. If you can't do it 5 times, 3 times. If you want to get somewhere, if you want to be a successful network marketer, a successful entrepreneur, a successful husband, successful wife, successful student, successful anything, then this is critical key. You can do the same with meditation. You just close your eyes and visualize it. But for me, it's better to be moving. You're getting the energy of outside. You're opening your horizons and taking on energy, releasing energy. It's really good for you. So those 3 tips, this is better, doing this. Law of attraction, 3 stages, change my life. So I'm sorry, Melodian, I know that's not what you were expecting, but I just gave gold there, I promise you.
Those are tips. Like I said, you helped when I was struggling.
Do you want to share that? I know that I shouldn't be doing this because I'm supposed to be the guest. Would you like to share that or not? Or would you like to do that another time?
I don't have any problem with it. I mean, like I said, at the beginning, when I first met you, I was just kind of going through the motions every day. It just, I was okay. I made a living, but it wasn't, my heart wasn't in it really. And so I just kind of got up every day and did what I needed to do to keep the money coming in with no joy to it. And in a lot of ways, I was afraid of things. The book. I published the book a year ago. Never have done that. I didn't have the guts to do it because I didn't think I had anything to say that anyone wanted to hear. And just through our conversations and that, you convinced me that, well, yeah, you do. And yeah, all that stuff that that we talked about since I've known you, and just hanging around with you and listening to you talk to me all the time, taught me that, yeah, I do have things to say, and I need to not be afraid to say them, and I can help other people, and I do need to find the joy and passion in what I do a day, or I might as well not be doing it, because what's the point? And it's changed my life, so I'm a big fan.
That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. That's awesome.
So if my folks want to hook up with you and get the same benefit that I got, what should they do?
Okay, well, I'm glad you asked that. Well, I guess the easiest way would be to perhaps go to andythecoach.com, and you can find out a little bit more about me. You can link to my YouTube channel there. And also what I'm doing is, anybody out there who really, is interested in coaching and would like to start moving forward, because, as you just saw with Melodian, what happened was, we did some simple coaching, and that made such a big shift and completely changed everything in a positive direction. So if anybody is interested, what I'll do is I'll give you 30-minute coaching session, though in actuality it'll probably go on for an hour, because if we're hitting the spot, we're getting somewhere, I'm not going to get off that call. I'm going to do everything I can to make a big shift for you, to really get you in the right direction. And then afterwards we'll see whether we're a good fit for each other, and if if you want to continue and be coaching, but be a pleasure to do that. So that is something that I'm giving away complimentary to your people. So just go to andythecoach.com.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate this. I'm sorry about all the technical difficulties, but hey, it wouldn't be me if we didn't have some kind of a snafu. I am technologically challenged. But it's interesting. Being Live is a good place. This is an easy platform to use. So we'll talk about this off camera, and maybe this is a good platform for you. I really like this. But these technical challenges come. But I think we just showed something really important to everybody who's watching, anybody who's watching this, because basically it's just persistence, just staying calm, just saying, okay, well, this is life. This happened. It doesn't matter. It's all about just getting there and doing it anyway. And that's what we did, which is awesome. Well, that's the side benefit of Andy's coaching, because when I first met him, if this had happened, I would have been absolutely humiliated, mortified. I would have just felt I wouldn't have been able to do it. That's it. We're not doing it. It's not working. I'm not going to do it. But you know what? It all worked out, and here we are.
That's right. Exactly. And who knows? I mean, maybe there's been people who came in, and were able to join in on this live, and they wouldn't have been able to anyway. So we don't know. There's all sorts of things. At the end of the day, we just showed the most important thing, which is life is about persistence. If you want to get somewhere, it's about being persistent. And so we just gave, something, we gave a demonstration of how to be a winner, how to get things done. And that's important. And I know where you're coming from. I used to be the same. It's like if I said I was going to be there at 5 o'clock, I'm British. We have to be there exactly the right time and start exactly the right time. It doesn't matter if the whole planet catches on fire. We're still doing it. But what does it matter? So I'm glad that you took that on board as well. That's great.
Well, thanks, Andy, and I appreciate this.
Me too. Thank you for having me on your show, and it's been great fun. And if you want to do this again, be my pleasure, be my absolute pleasure.
We have to pick one of those things that you said you could talk about forever, and we'll really dive into those.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. That's great. All
right. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks for being on, and thanks for everybody who's been watching. Okay, thanks for everything. Bye for now then, Melodian.
Bye.